house that we live in is completely round. It was built in 1967. Most of the elements of the house are original with very little upgrades.
It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
And is around 1,200 square feet.
There's really no flat surfaces in the house except for a dividing wall between the living room and the master bedroom, and 1 flat wall that divides the bathrooms. Everything else has a curve to it. All of the crown molding is round.
All of the windows are curved.
All of the doors are rounded. So when you close the door, you just see a continuous round wall.
To live in this space is really unusual. It's the only round house that I think I've ever been in.
There's something very organic and comforting about living in a round house. The center of the house is basically the core, which contains 2 bathrooms, which are kind of subdivided. And exterior of that are all of the rooms, which are divided by contoured walls. There's kind of a magical aspect to design of the 1950s and 60s, and this house is kind of like stepping back into time. The home was designed by Leon Meyer. It was constructed in 1967. This is, to the best of our knowledge, the most well-preserved example of all of his round homes that he ever constructed.
We were really motivated to live someplace that was special. I think also the fact that the house is quirky, it's not perfect, and it is really of the era. We just feel like it's an extension of our lifestyle. We actually have 2 front doors.
I don't really know why, but we really only use one of them.
I think it does add a certain amount of symmetry to the design to have 2 front doors. And by opening the 2 doors and all the windows, we do kind of have a wonderful indoor-outdoor experience that I can't really imagine having in any other home.
What we wanted to do when we purchased this home was keep it as original as we could. It had been well kept from the last 3 owners, and all the cosmetic elements of the house are completely original.
My favorite part of this house would have to be the ceiling line. Each of the triangular shapes has a window inside of it, so in the mornings when we wake up, we can kind of watch the sunrise. But when we hit a certain hour in the afternoon, things start to become a little dark inside of the house.
There's not a lot of overhead lighting. There's really no place to hang a pennant or put any recessed lighting in the roof.
Julian has a large collection of floor lamps, and the fact that we didn't have any overhead lighting was a great excuse to use those as a design element.
Me and my wife Desiree own and operate a vintage mid-century furniture store.
We go to Denmark and the UK to import a lot of pieces.
We have a very curated collection of mid-century furniture. One of my favorite pieces in the collection is our Parachair, designed by Ib Arberg of Sweden. There's something very special about vintage furniture in a vintage home, and I want people to come in here and feel like they've stepped back in time. In our study, we have a portrait of my dad, which is painted in 1956. It's kind of a sentimental piece of family history.
For the past few years, I've been collecting drawer liners from our Danish shipments. And when we moved into the house, I wanted to incorporate some of that collection into our kitchen. So I lined a lot of the drawers with these really vibrant patterns and shapes.
In addition to that, I've got a nice little collection of wall clocks going on, which were a staple of a 1960s home. I would say the difficult part about furnishing a round house is finding the exact place that everything is supposed to go. We really had to be careful of scale and placement of every object. Definitely putting long, flat furniture in this home tends to look a little bit awkward.
What's worked really well is using pieces that have a circular nature to them. Our dining room table is round and it fits really well.
There isn't a ton of storage, but it's been very cleverly built into the house.
The closet next to our bedroom is a walk-in closet. When you get inside, it's lined with clothing hooks and rods, so everything that we could ever want to store has a spot, but we took a lot of time deciding what was going to come with us and what needed to be left behind.
Most people don't get their dream home to be their first house, and I really feel lucky to live here.
I think the fact that we can live here and not only preserve, but maybe even bring the house closer to how it originally was is something that really is inspiring to me.
Every piece of this house is unique, and that's what I love about it. It's rare to come across something that speaks to your personality and to your personal taste. This home was it for us, and I couldn't be any happier.